So, I have a DVR for the first time in my entire life, and I'm glad that I do because with my work schedule, I do not have time to come home and watch my favorite shows. So I DVR a whole lot of crap. I've got episodes of Pawn Stars and like American Pickers that I haven't watched in weeks, and they're just sitting there, and I feel bad every time I look. I'm like, oh, I'll watch you later. I know a couple of folks have asked me to do rants on MTV Skins. MTV Skins, not the British version of Skins. I don't know what it is, but I'm very partial to British comedy. I think because when I was very young, my dad introduced me to Fawlty Towers, and ever since then, I just have loved it. Like, I was upset when I learned that Fawlty Towers wasn't a real hotel, and that John Cleese really was not managing it. Now, I have never watched the British version of Skins. Luckily, Netflix is my best friend, so I watched the first episode. Yeah, it's very sexual a show, but it's about teenagers. Like, all teenagers want to do is, like, curb their hormonal rage. Not even curb it, though. Like, keep riding that wave. But the UK version, you know, there's something in that called character development where you actually feel for these characters and like want them to do each other. I only watched the first episode, but I gotta say I really enjoyed it. So learning that Skins was coming to America, I was like, oh, cool, they're gonna be playing the British version in America. I don't know how they would do that because British people get to listen to swearing after a certain hour in the night. We do that in America too, but at like midnight. In the UK, it's like 9 p.m. I remember when I was in Scotland, we were flipping through the channels and suddenly there was like a huge vagina on the screen. I was like, why? Why is it there? It was a medical show about a lady with loose hanging lady downstairs flaps, and she was getting them removed. But not before giving the whole viewing audience a nice peek at them. Ugh! That's just something I was not expecting to see, just flipping through the channels, just suddenly, ah! So when I found out that Skins was going to be remade into the American version, I was like, oh boy, we're going to fuck it up. Which we did. And I apologize, British people. That's such an asshole thing to say, but, you know. Skins USA is the biggest waste of money that MTV has ever done. And I realize that, they've made Jersey Shore, but why mess up a good thing? Skins in the UK is still going. Like, they still have their seasons. They're still going. Series. They're called series over there. I don't like that, but it's different for something like The Office, you know, like the British version of The Office ended however many years ago, so bringing it over to the United States and like branching out to this whole different storyline, yeah, I get that. That makes sense, and that's good because you got Steve Carell playing Michael Scott, who's awesome. Watching Skins USA was just the most feeble attempt at trying to be as popular as the British version, and it's not gonna work. If this show brings people to the UK version, then I'm fine with it. But the USA version, you can tell that these kids just don't give a shit. You know, there's no acting. It's just saying lines. Like, they're not being the character. Like, the character of Tony, the guy in the first episode, the character of Tony, you can see him developing in the British version. But in the American version, he's so much of a fucking douchebag. You can't feel for this guy. Like, you want him to fall on his face and just face plant into cement. This is also just bringing me to subjects of remakes in general. Why bother remaking a good thing? Why do that? Where is the creativity where people come up with their own ideas about shows that you haven't seen yet? Yeah, there's a lot of concepts that have been done to death, but at least it's like something new and it's something fresh and it's not just something recycled just to make a fucking dollar. Like, why are they remaking The Bodyguard? I'm not opposed to remakes like the new Dawn of the Dead one, you know, like the 2004 one, because that was kind of like a reimagining. It wasn't the same characters. It was just a zombie attack and they go to a mall. Same concept, but completely two different movies. Using the same lines, the same dialogue, the same characters, what's the point? MTV should take off this show immediately. There's no potential there. Drive people over to the British version, because it's a good one. I do like British TV. I watch The In-Betweeners. I got them all on my computer. That show's hilarious. Anybody that has not seen it, watch an episode of The In-Betweeners. It's awesome. I have another 5:30 shift, so I gotta go to bed. Good night, bitches.